for this one, I'm not gonna talk about the story. I'm just gonna go straight through the mechanics and the design, because the story here is not much, just like in the other operations. This story is basically pretty much nothing, but I don't want to spoil anything and things like that, or if you didn't play the game. So here is my thoughts for Eternety Vault. The first thing you realize when you enter this operation is like how you actually get into the field. The operation field is like using a pod and escaping a ship and things like that. That was like just a simple cool thing. It was a Star Wars rule. It was hilarious. First off, let's talk about the design for this operation. The design here is basically looking like a vault, so it was pretty cool back in the day. But I realized one thing: you going different places. Like first you're going to a snowstorm, after that you're going into lava or into a volcano or something like that, and after that you're going out and there was like no snow. I mean, what? That was like the first thing I realized. This is like, what the hell? But anyway, after this, I mean, the first time I don't really cared about the design. I was just like, whoa, it's really cool and things like that. But when you're going in like 20 times already, you will maybe realize this. I actually realized it for the first time when I went in. So yeah, it was a pretty weird thing, but yeah, this was nothing much to do. Alright, let's talk about my favorite ones, the boss fights. For this one, I'm just gonna talk about the back in the day when this operation was like really first time operations, and I'm gonna talk about the difficulties as well for this. So back in the day, when you started this operation and you done doing the first boss, you will see mechanics you actually never see in any MMO boss fights. You were like, what the hell is going on? And I was seriously amazed, like how hard was that to do this operation or do this first boss back in the day. The mechanics here are really good. So just like in the previous My Thoughts video, I'm gonna rate these bosses as well. For this boss, I definitely give this boss a 10 out of 10. Back in the day, it was hilarious, and all of the difficulties back in the day, like the story hard and nightmare, was actually hard as well. Like, and the nightmare was definitely a nightmare. I was playing a 16-man guild, but it was really hard to do this. And yeah, soon now, if you're doing this now, it's like, yeah, really pathetic. Like, maybe 6 men can do this on 60-man nightmare now. So, yeah, it's really, really easy now to do it. That's why I'm talking the back in the day, the past, basically. How was this operation in the past? Alright, the second boss. The second boss is, have a really good mechanics as well. Like, basically, when you actually in the lava, I mean in a volcano, and like doing this boss, it's like, whoa, that's cool, and doing these things. I'm actually on my healer right now, so there is nothing much to do. But basically, back in the day, this was really hard as well. Like going platforms and things like that. You will see this on the video now. It was back in the day. It was really hard to do this, but yeah, this boss don't have much of a mechanics just back in the day, but it was still a good hard boss fight as well. So for this boss, I give him an 8 out of 10. The third boss, well, this was a hell of a good mechanics back in the day. Like, This boss is really like really solved out for your skills and your team skills as well. This is why they made operations for this game. This boss, so-called boss, is definitely had awesome mechanics like solving everything, and also have some ads as well, and that was like really good. And to solve this out, it was not kind of a big boss, but it was still, back in the day, that was like really hard to do this, and there was like a really hard bug as well back in the day when you can't do this, but now they solved it after like 1 year. But whatever, it was a good boss fight as well. The difficulty on this is not much change, just some of the fights, especially 8 or 16 is the difference for this fight. So yeah, for this boss fight, I give him a 10 out of 10. It was really awesome back in the day, and really good mechanics for this boss fight. Alright, the fourth boss. This is what they for this boss, they really wanted to test your skills. If you failed, then pretty much you can't do this. This boss fight has not much to do, not big mechanics as well, but I liked the idea for this, like testing your skills and everybody's skills. This not requires team skills and things like that. This requires your skill. This boss wanted to test your skills if you approve to do this operation. And if you do this and proved it, you will see awesome stuff. For this boss fight, because since there is not much of a mechanics and things like that, for this boss I give him a 6 out of 10. It was good back in the day, and awesome to test your skills, and I really liked it. But yeah, it was not much of mechanics to solo this. You can go wherever you want in the world and get a level 50 champion or things like that, and there you can test your skills as well, not just like in this operation. But yeah, as I talked about it, as soon as you done your skills and this operation test your skills, you're gonna have an awesome ending boss fight, which is the last boss, SWTOR. SWTOR has I think in this game is the best boss ever. Never see mechanics, never see fights, never see in the video game ever. And this boss has awesome mechanics, like everything what you do, not just like DPSing and things like that, like back in the day before those operations and bosses, but this requires team skill, big team skill, like everything what you're doing. If someone died back in the day, there was like, oh my god, we can't do it, and it was really hard to do it, especially on 8-man. The difficulties here as well changed the fact, and it was like really hard to do this. The 8 and the 16-man didn't change much in the previous two bosses, but on this one it really matters how difficult and how many players are actually doing this operation. Because the more players you got, the harder and much better team skill you need to do this boss when actually it mattered back in the day. So SWTOR had a never saw mechanics before, and the fight here was actually what I call epic. Like, this is epic Star Wars moments what you saw in this fight. Like, if you didn't see it and didn't play Star Wars The Old Republic, you will definitely check this operation, because this boss fight give you a hell of a good Star Wars moment. And this boss, for me, it definitely a 10 out of 10. So yeah, it was pretty awesome. So overall, Eternity Vault for me, I'm not gonna rate the story because there is not much story here. I'm just gonna rate the design. Design, of course, what I talked about it is a 6 out of 10 because it looks like actually a vault. But yeah, what I talked about it earlier, some of the things are like really confused. And the boss fights, what I talked about it earlier, is good as well. So overall, for this operation, for me, is a 9 out of 10 operation. It was hell of a good back in the day. Some of them had, of course, not big mechanics, but some bosses save, the design actually saves the boss, like the second one. And of course, if you're doing this, the ending is awesome. The last boss is hilarious. So that was my thoughts about Eternity Vault. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you liked the video, if you like it, share your favorite, and tell me in the comments what do you think about this operation. Did you like it? Did you not? Did you agree my ratings? Did you not? And things like that. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys on the next video. Bye bye.